at the end of 1979, I wanted to kind of sum up what the decade had been like, which is a kind of a perhaps egotistical thing to even try to do. But in the context of this kind of journalism we do at the Vanguard, it was sort of feasible, at least. And so I took some time off, and I went through my files and all the articles the Vanguard had printed and all the things that I had written before, which is sort of what I did when I wrote this book too. Once again, and I wrote a very long piece called "Decade of Doubt," which appears in an altered form with some new material and some things deleted in the book. And it was the first attempt to come up with an analysis of what Vermont had been like in the 70s. And I think that the main thing that the article is saying is that the image of Vermont, its self-image of Vermont, was being very subtly changed during this period of time. And I focus very much in on development and growth issues. There are other manifestations of this. I don't talk about education too much in the book. I did in the article because I was very concerned about education. And our concept of what a good education should be in Vermont changed as well in the 70s. And then I just went on from there. I was, again, trying to turn journalism into history and trying to apply what I had experienced over that period of time to some sort of overall analytical experience, analytical framework. Because I believe journalism and writing is subjective and we all have opinions, I also believe that we are not simply able to be observers of that reality, and if we write something, well, that doesn't affect it. Writing about it, just as observing in science affects the reality. We affect change. And so rather than say, well, I want to affect it as little as possible, my own decision was to say, well, I want to affect it in a progressive direction, and I'll be upfront about that. And so I was attempting to raise some questions that would provoke argument, even, or at least some questions.